is up, all my Harmy people out there? Welcome to Harm's Way Podcast.
We're officially the Harmy.
I am your host, Craig. It's my lovely brother, Eric.
You guys stop calling me lovely.
I'll do it when you stop reacting to it, bitch.
Fair enough.
Welcome, Harmy people. Harmy people? Harmy
people.
Harmindians. Oh, no.
Don't turn this into another Kleenex.
Call them the Commanders. Kleenex. Let's not bring that up.
We'll call them the North Canton Potatoes. Or the North Canton Redskins.
The Guardians. The Army Guardians. I will work on it. Work in progress. How are you today, Eric?
I'm much better. How are you doing?
I'm okay.
No, you're not.
I'm sick of my own stupidity holding me back in life, but yes.
So you watched the video of Ross Chastain
the fucking
rolling his fucking car around the wall at Martinsville.
Yeah. I'm surprised it took us till 21 to talk about NASCAR.
I have not. Yeah. Well, I haven't watched a race in about 10 years.
That move was reminiscent of the old school NASCAR that you and I grew up with. The NASCAR that was ballsy and...
Ballsy, yes. I don't think anybody's ever done that before.
No, but people have. I mean, we were at the Bristol race when Kevin Harvick put Tony Stewart in the wall.
There was the pass in the grass. There was...
Well, I wouldn't call that move on the same level as passing the grass.
Yeah, but Earnhardt was burning through the grass. I don't like Earnhardt.
Nobody likes Earnhardt.
I never did. But I will say, that guy was burning through the grass on the infield to go by. Was it Bobby Allison? Whoever it was. Yeah, that is something that, unfortunately, we will probably never see again. It was bold. It was the most It was the most Wile E. Coyote bullshit I've ever seen in a NASCAR race.
I don't think I've seen.
I just watched the highlight videos. Like I said, I haven't watched a race in probably it's probably been about 10 years. No, I take that back. Gordon retired in 14 at the end of 14. I watched a few races that year, but nobody's ever done that shit.
It was a full send. It was a full fucking.
He did. He said they interviewed him and he said, "I just remember hitting fifth gear on the backstretch." Mind you, fifth gear on the backstretch.
Yeah,
it's a short ass track. He was ripping through that shit. He hit the fifth gear. He said, "I hit fifth. I remember hitting fifth gear on the backstretch. I hit the wall, let the steering wheel go." He let the steering wheel go. He let Jesus take the wheel.
He fucking had to. He would have broke his wrist.
And he said, everything got a little blurry at that point.
Yeah, no shit.
And I don't know if it was because he was just so hyped up or it was because of the G-forces that caused him to black out a little bit.
Well, first of all, anytime you make your car move faster by hitting a solid object,
dude,
you gotta let go,
He came out of 4. He was smoking, steering, shot to hell. And it was perfect because the guys that were coming to the line, Hamlin moved up the track, and it left him a perfect hole.
Yeah.
And he passed Hamlin with like 50 yards to go.
He gave that little fuck you push too, which I thought was great.
Hamlin got eliminated because of that, you know?
Good. I mean,
I don't like Hamlin. I think he's a little bitch. He's always been a little bitch. So is Joey Logano. Fuck that guy. But dude, yeah. He kind of like smacked Hamlin a little bit, but it wasn't anything like severe. But like, it was good that there was a hole opened up. Because when he came screaming out of 4...
It wasn't much, but yeah.
When he came screaming out of 4, if they were stacked up on the outside of the track, he'd have blown through like 3 cars. And just destroyed a bunch of people.
What I saw, I don't think he gave him a hole. I think he gave him a shoulder, and Ross was like, "Oh, fucking, I'll make this." Because there was contact there a couple of times.
He kissed Hamlin a little bit, but Hamlin did move up the track. I'm saying if Hamlin had stayed glued to the wall, Ross would have blown through like 3 cars. It was fucking stupid.
I didn't know.
But it was like, God, I salute you. God bless you. You deserve that outcome because he thought of it and he went for it.
Yeah.
And he made it work. There's a lot of people that came out that were like, that could have went south and getting into the corner wrong,
pinching, rolling,
could have rolled, could have spun the car, could have done anything. He blended that fucker just right that it just ran around the turn.
He showed a lot of us that cars can move faster when you hit a solid object in a bank like that.
Yes, but
he taught a lot of rednecks physics at that race, and because it happened, and even the announcers were like, the fuck? Like, what do we say?
Earnhardt.
What do we do?
Junior was up in the booth and he was like, "That's not fast forward, folks. That's real time you're watching."
It's what it felt like. It felt like when you're playing one of those video games and you run over like the highlighted part and your car goes, you know?
Yeah,
that's what he did with a high bank and a wall.
They kept calling it a video game move or whatever. It's like, it's not a video game, asshole. It's Martinsville in the fall. Like, it's not a video game move anymore. Ross Chastain proved that it's real. Like, it worked.
I hope that's the last one. I hope he got that one. And
I hope he wins the championship. Because I hope that was like divine intervention or some shit. But
he had a fast car that race too. I don't understand why.
He went from 10th to 5th. And then actually 4th because Keselowski, I've always liked him. I've never liked Joey Logano. I've always liked...
Which is weird because they're both pretty horse face.
Keselowski, like, I look at him and I was like, that's an honest God racer. That's a blue-collar guy.
Very, very talented.
Logano's kind of like, comes off like that trust fund baby. Also,
I think
he's ugly as fuck.
Logano fell into it in the perfect situation. When he took over the Home Depot car after Tony Stewart got his exit, and it kind of, he fell into the perfect team, and he rode that team to where he could get some wins here and there. But yeah, I don't feel like he earned it.
What was that? Yeah, Keselowski finished 4th. He got DQ'd.
I mean, yeah.
I don't think it's funny.
I always liked Keselowski because he jumped in the Miller Lite Dodge.
I remember when he won the championship. I think it was like 2012. He won the championship. He had like a fucking tower glass or whatever.
Yeah.
And he was on pit road. He was drunk.
Yeah.
They went to interview him post-race. It literally, like, in the 35 minutes from him getting out of the car to him being over this, he was shit-faced. And I was like, that's my guy.
I would be fucking hammering. Yeah, they'd have to
it's like, but you
peel that shit off me.
He was like, he straight up said in the interview, he's like, I'm a little buzzed up. He wasn't a little buzzed up. He was fucked up.
Trashed.
But I always liked him. He was the one that, like, when Gordon got into it with Clint Boyer at Phoenix, Keselowski was
Clint Boyer was a little bit of a bitch sometimes.
He was a total bitch. He ran all the way down pit road, all the way back up through the pits, just to point and yell at Gordon. Yeah, he's a little cunt. I don't like him. I'd fight him to this day. Fuck that guy. But that was the race where Keselowski was like, I showed you that video before where he was like, I get raced hard, I get told I have a death wish, and then I see fucking bullshit like this. That's fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
He goes, those two guys just tried to kill each other. I like him. I've always liked him. That was like 2012, 2011 or some shit. But
a guy I worked with in the oil field, that was his guy. Coincidentally, Brad Keselowski and him looked a lot alike. They still do. But that was his guy. Everything was decked out.
You know who I always thought Brad looked like?
I'll show you this guy later and you tell me, but yeah.
So, my friend from school, one who lives in Texas?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You think they look alike?
Yeah.
They kind of look alike, right?
Good old Balake. Yeah. He looks, yeah. I'll say...
fuck Stansbury. I'd rather have him on here someday.
Balake?
Yeah.
I'll call him that because I love that guy. I thought he was dope.
You want to talk about like a just solid human being? Yeah.
That's what happens in the Midwest.
Solid, good country folk. Yeah, I want him in that chair someday.
I miss NASCAR being what it was. I missed when we would go to races and see actual dogfight style races. Guys edging each other out. The fastest car doesn't always win, but the best racer.
Dude, Harvick dumping, what was it, 2000,
that's 9?
No,
we were still in high school.
Was that the second year? I can't remember which year we went to Bristol. It was 2007 or 2008. It was one of those two.
We went 2 at Bristol. Yeah.
We went 2 back to back. Watching Kevin Harvick dump Tony Stewart in the last fucking...
Do you remember the hammered guy behind me that started slapping
Yeah, he started slapping you on the back.
And you thought I was going to fight him, or he was going to try and fight me, but he hugged me.
Yeah.
Because he hated...
Well, there was I remember the whole section we were in. I had an older guy in front of me, probably like 50.
Yeah.
He was a Gordon fan. And then... there was that dickhead that came running up the stairs that had the frilly orange hair or whatever. He was with his wife, who was embarrassed to be with him. They came running up the stairs. Everybody in our section went, "Fuck you!
Yeah, dude.
Get the fuck out of here!" I think they were like 3 rows up from us or whatever, but everybody around us was like, "Get the fuck out of here!"
Mid-conversation.
Fuck you! Yeah, everybody in that section hated Tony Stewart.
That was still to this day, of all the sporting events I've been to, where crazy shit happens. I think that was the loudest uproar, erupting of cheering I've still ever
It's
seen.
the last lap of
and it was
fucking 500-mile race.
Piled in there. People, I don't think there was a seat open in that place.
And we were part of that streak where Bristol had sold out crowds.
Yeah.
I can't remember when the streak got the grandstand capacity is 165,000 people. And they had a streak going, and we were part of that. It ended, I want to say it was like 2015, 2016, something like that.
Damn.
It ended then, but
Bristol shows out.
They had like 40 races in a row that were sold out.
Those people.
The night race was usually the one that was more like attractive. But we went in the spring.
Yeah.
And it's badass. You're fucking 10 stories up, sitting on the stands. F-18s flying over like a couple 100 feet above you.
Yeah.
And shit.
The roar.
And then
makes it
Harvick dumping Stewart on the last lap. The whole goddamn stadium stood up and was like, "Yeah,
dude,
fuck yeah!"
I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it.
It was fucking crazy. But they
just hugging strangers and high fiving random.
They had like it was like 40 races, 20 years or something that they sold Bristol out. Like, fuck. And
great track, great. If you want a short course,
I don't think it's that good since
Bristol.
They've been they started doing the dirt track. Like I said, I haven't watched a race in 10 years, but was it last year or the year before? The spring race, they put dirt down. They did a Bristol dirt race.
Really?
Yeah, dirt doesn't really work with like the sprint or like the cup cars.
Yeah.
It's kind of goofy, kind of fucked up.
Yeah, I bet.
It had kind of mixed reception. I wish they wouldn't do it again. I wish they would just go back to asphalt. I wish they put the banking back to 36 degrees like it was, because it was insane. You got a half-mile short track that has the banking that Talladega has. Fucking insane. And that's when it was better.
It's like a circus ride.
That was when it was better. And then they started the whole car tomorrow bullshit and all that fucking shit, and it just like went to hell. Like they need to go back to how things were. And over the last few years, a lot of fans have responded to the fact that NASCAR is not going back to its roots, that kind of thing. And Ray Everham, who used to be Jeff Gordon's crew chief back in the late 90s, early 2000s. I think Ray was his crew chief up until 2005, something like that. And then Steve Letarte took over. Ray was a mastermind of how to set up the car, innovation, whatever. NASCAR always had a rule book. Ray Everham was always the guy to get around it, man. He just you want to talk about a goddamn genius. I think he got inducted into the Hall of Fame, and he should have been inducted into the Hall of Fame like while he was still racing, because the guy's a goddamn genius. And he started up a dirt track series, and it was called like Superstar Racing Experience or something. And he would pull guys from drag racing, dirt track, NASCAR, whatever. He would just throw everybody in and be like, "You're getting a modified car tonight, go." And that was it. And people loved it because it was good. It was the guy. If you wanted to see Jeff Gordon on dirt, that was where you went to see it. You want to see Tony Stewart, whoever, Casey Kane, whoever on dirt, doing like an old time, good old town dirt track race. That was it. And they started doing that, and they would do like 4 big races a year. I don't know what they're doing now, but This was a few years back. But it was like, you could see all these guys. You'd have dirt track racers and shit like that, or drag racers and shit that would jump in like a modified car and fucking go around. Dude, it was great. And the fans really responded to it. They were like, "This is what we want to see. This is what we want to see. We want to see NASCAR, going back to its roots, dirt track racing, small tracks, small towns, that kind of thing." And I found out today that apparently North Wilkesboro Raceway is getting rejuvenated. Apparently NASCAR is going to go back there.
Damn.
Yep.
So you're against the releasing of the deer on the infield and letting carnage happen?
Yes. That's a separate thing, and you may want to seek medical attention.
The deer are going to seek medical attention.
No, you should probably seek medical attention.
Maybe not deer, maybe kangaroos.
I heard a while back that there was a big campaign going on to rejuvenate North Wilkesboro, because NASCAR was always like a southeastern thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's just what it was. Stock car racing was a southeastern thing because cultural influences, whatever. And then you had through the 90s, it expanded like hell. They had tracks in Michigan, they had tracks
west, yeah.
Tracks in Texas, tracks in California, that kind of thing. And they're goddamn. Sorry, that was probably pretty bad for everybody at home.
I'd say I'd cut it out, but I'm too lazy.
Anywho, they expanded, and it got really stale there for a long time. They were running, these expansion tracks that they were going to. They were running 2 races at, and it was soaking up most of the schedule. The fun tracks that people wanted to see, like Pocono, Watkins Glen, Sonoma, whatnot.
Watkins Glen road courses? You think people want to see road courses?
People wanted to see more. I wanted to see more road courses because it chipped it up a little bit. It
wasn't super speedways. That's
well, when 2/3 of the goddamn schedule is 1.5 mile ovals, it gets pretty boring pretty fucking quick. You wanted to chip it up a little bit.
Road courses, I see their purpose, but
is there any reason to go to Daytona twice?
Dude, if it was up to me, Daytona would be every race.
Oh, no.
Let's have a king.
No, you're fucking.
Let's have a king.
You're fucking with me. You're playing devil's advocate.
I see. Talladega's sweet. I like the bigger. Obviously, the super speedways have a.
Well, it's funny because like most fans,
place
the super speedways most fans don't like.
But
because they're restrictor plate races and they're boring.
Bristol to me was badass.
Bristol,
racing.
Yeah, short track racing.
The downshifting, the braking, and then trying to get out
That's
of the
exciting. Them racing in a pack just for Earnhardt to kill himself at the end of the race. That's not fun.
Wow, Eric. Okay.
He killed himself.
That might rub some people the wrong way. I'm not a fan of the Earnhardt family.
He killed himself.
Where do we go from there?
Listen. 1 mile ovals, half mile tracks, whatnot. That shit's exciting. That's how it's always been. And then they start expanding. They put 30 tracks out there, 1.5 mile tri-ovals or whatever the fuck they are. Michigan sucks. Fontana sucks. I'd say Texas Motor Speedway sucks. Vegas sucks. Who the fuck in Vegas wants to go watch? Who the fuck wants to go watch a NASCAR race in Vegas?
Yeah.
Phoenix is pretty cool.
Vegas attendance been down the past 10
Phoenix is pretty cool because it's an oblong tri-oval.
I like Phoenix, yeah.
That's where the championship race is next weekend.
Darlington?
Darlington's the shit, man. Dude, that track, I think it's the second oldest next to Martinsville.
Yeah.
Martinsville's sweet as fuck because it's so small and it's flat. Mm-hmm. You cannot, like these assholes, they start the season off in Daytona. Heavy banks, fucking 200 miles an hour, and then they go to some place like Martinsville. Fucking half mile, flat as fuck.
Yeah.
It changes the shit up.
Yeah.
It changes up how you got to set the car up, how you got to drive. Until Ross, did his thing. That's gonna change everything.
Slingshot, baby, shake and bake.
But fuck, man, like they need from 2007 to fucking 2013. Most of the fucking goddamn schedule was these cookie cutter 1.5 mile ovals that Jimmy Johnson kept winning on. Fucking asshole.
Don't say his name in my basement.
Don't you dare. It was the same shit over and over again, and they kept wondering, "Oh, you was winning all the time." Whatever. And like, dude, yeah, because you're going to the same goddamn track every time. I think at one point they cut the Pocono race from 2 to 1. They were only going to Pocono once a year. For the longest time, they were only doing 2 road courses. 2. That's it. They did Sonoma once. They did Watkins Glen once. That's it. And now they're doing a lot more road courses, which is great. I think they should, because it's dynamic. It chips up the fucking schedule. If you're champion at the end of the year, yeah, I want that guy to be able to win on any track. Okay? If you got somebody like Jimmy Johnson, who I don't think he ever won on a road course. He's got 7 championships. Never won on a fucking road course.
He was the circle driver.
I think he won maybe once or twice. I don't know.
His championship should
have to look that up.
Asterisks next to him.
It really should, because they had video evidence of him flaunting the fucking rules. And
nobody brings him up in conversation anymore when people talk about their favorite drivers or the iconic drivers. He doesn't get brought up much, which I'm completely fine with. If we could,
because everybody knows. It's because everybody fucking knows.
I was fine by me.
A lot of people want to shit on Jeff Gordon because he was the Rainbow Warrior. They thought he was gay or whatever. First off,
who thought he was gay?
Actually, it was Dale Earnhardt Sr. who started the rumor that he was gay.
And look where that got him.
Well, Jeff Gordon never forgot to turn left. Coincidentally, it was Halifax Hospital where he died at, which was also the hospital that misdiagnosed me when I had mono.
Oof.
Fuck them.
I think not.
Probably not.
I never agreed with them calling him the Intimidator. I thought he was just a bully.
Listen, man, I can get out on Talladega. I can shift. I can get into 5th gear, and I can put somebody in the wall and turn 4 and take a win. I can do that. Anybody can do that. But if you go back to, I think it was 2014 at Phoenix, when Jeff Gordon ran down Kyle Busch, nudged him. Just kissed him on the ass.
Whoa.
Just kissed him on the ass. Got him up the track a little bit and went by him. If you go back and watch that pass, that's why Jeff Gordon was who he was. And that's why Dale Earnhardt won.
Because kissing ass.
No, because Jeff Gordon, with the grace of an angel,
an ass-kissing angel,
tapped him, got him up the track and went around him.
Did it without...
That right there, Earnhardt would never do.
No,
Earnhardt was the guy that, they're coming to the white flag. He'd spin you in the wall.
And I thought he used that to go, because everybody talks about how great of a fucking driver he was.
He was not a great driver.
I don't think he was a great driver. I think he.
Don't you dare say he was a great driver.
That's not what I fucking said. He masked that by doing dumb shit like that, and everybody said, "Oh, he's the Intimidator."
I can't tell you how many.
He's the Intimidator.
I can't tell you how many.
He used that as
fucking
a cover
videos. How many fucking videos I saw where he would just barrel down in the turn, put the guy up into the wall, and take the checkered flag. I'm like, anybody can do that. I can fucking do that. And I don't need to be some fucking white trash asshole from Kannapolis to fucking do it. Don't seriously, dude.
I don't want to talk about him anymore.
Give credit where credit is due. He was not a great driver.
Didn't he?
And part of that was why he died.
Well, yeah,
he literally no. He died because he was not a great driver.
He didn't want to wear the new harness.
He went high when he was not clear at all.
Well, he didn't wear the new harness either.
No. Whatever.
Somebody said that if he would have worn the new... Because if you watch his crash...
If he wouldn't have went high when he wasn't clear, he wouldn't have fucking died.
I watched his crash several times, and I didn't think there was enough to kill somebody. I didn't think it was hard enough.
Whatever.
Now, granted, they're high speeds, the banks are high, blah, blah, blah. But I specifically remember people saying that he was supposed to adapt the new neck harness, and he did it because he didn't...
I don't know. That might be debatable, but the thing is, like...
But I did not think that hit was enough to kill somebody.
The proof is in the pudding. You watch the video. He wasn't clear by a long shot. So I don't know if his... I don't know if his spotter's culpable or whatever, but regardless, you would think a guy who's been in the game that long would know when the front of the guy's car is at his door, I'm going to go high.
That's fair.
Yeah, he was not a... It sucks he died. His son
I
is
want
a
to make
much
that
better,
clear too.
His son's a much better guy than he ever was. But don't you dare tell me he was a good driver.
We're making jokes about the passing of who would call, most people would call this iconic figure, but Eric and I are just saying that we don't like him and we don't think he was a great driver. That's all we're saying. We're not saying that it's good he died. Eric might have towed that line a little bit there for a second, but it does suck that a life was lost on that day.
Bullshit. Like,
but the fact of the matter is, I thought he was clout. He would have been a clout driver nowadays, if that's what you call
everybody
him.
reveres him like he is, but like,
well, they put him on a pedestal because he died. But like you said,
a lot of
exactly.
What he did, they put him on a pedestal because he died. He was a shit driver. You know how many
of
those?
He was not a good driver.
He had 76 wins. Do you know how many of those wins came from spinning somebody out on the last lap?
A lot, the majority.
I could do that. Anybody could fucking do that. But when it comes to like driving down,
Richard Petty.
Driving down into turn 4 and like getting under somebody or maybe teasing somebody up the track a little bit and going by him.
But he didn't.
He never did that shit.
People didn't fuck with him either. Like nobody. Like he'd put somebody on the wall
because he would put people on the wall,
and nobody said, "Hey, I'm gonna try and kill this guy." I mean, he ended up doing it himself, but yeah.
How many people should have walked down pit road and clocked him right in the fucking mouth?
That's what I mean. Back then, that was common. That was you get in a tussle because of the way you drive. If you're doing dumb shit like he did, but nobody tried to fight him. I don't really get it because he was some. I don't know. He was not NASCAR god. He has a lot of wins, but like Eric said, I think his wins should be tainted just as much as Jimmy J's.
I don't think he was a good driver.
He wasn't.
I think Jimmy Johnson was a better driver than him.
And Eric really dislikes you.
I hate Jimmy Johnson with every fiber in my being because all him and Chad Canals did was flaunt the fucking rules for 10 fucking years.
Before we move on,
I still think Jimmy was a better driver than Dale.
Based on skill, who do you think the best driver ever was? Based on skill.
Skill.
Based on
Ross Chastain. No, but I was looking at it. I was looking at it today, and I was looking at the all-time wins list, and I thought, it's a lot more impressive to me that Jeff got 93 wins when he raced in an era where the schedule was confined to 36 races. I don't know if he was ever better than Petty, but Petty got 200 wins.
Petty was smooth.
But Petty got 200 wins. Petty also raced back in an era where they raced 2-3 times a week.
Petty was...
Think about that.
Petty's king.
Think about that. 110 races in a year.
Look who we grew up with.
110 races in a year versus 36.
I'm talking more modern era, but Petty would be obvious to me. I mean, he's the reason they call him the king.
He is the
guy
king.
was racing,
He also raced a lot longer than Jeff did. He what was it? 38 years or something. Jeff raced 22. Yeah.
38 years.
And also, Richard was part of what cultivated that series. The popularity that you saw in the 2000s, that's because of him.
Yeah.
It was because of him. It was because of his dad. It was because of David Pearson, Cale Yarborough, all those guys. All those guys that paved that fucking way. It was because of them.
Joe Gibbs.
That it became the fastest growing sport in America for fucking 15 years or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
But
based on skill, though, modern driver.
Modern driver?
Driver that we grew up watching. Maybe particularly a driver that we hated in the beginning and then learned to like.
I don't know. I think about that. I think about that race at Phoenix where Kyle dominated all day, and then in the closing laps, Jeff had the better car, and he came up just.
Sometimes that's what it is, though.
You gotta watch that.
You have the better car.
You gotta watch that video because the grace that he nudged him, he got up into him, nudged him up the track, went around him, didn't wreck him. Earnhardt would have put the fucker in the wall.
One of the best races I ever saw was Martin Truex. It was like the day after his mom died.
I always liked him too.
Fucking that guy. Skill, but he was like he had something busted up here, and that made the best.
No, he was.
His mom died.
He was He was a little bit older, and he was serious. He knew, like that guy had that guy.
He was early 30s when I'm talking about the race.
When he won the championship, he was a little more mature.
I'm talking about leading up to that.
That's what I'm saying. He was a little more mature. That guy knew. He knew what he was doing. It's like Paul Menard. Paul Menard got into it when he was a little older, I think.
But, so this race, his mom dies, right? Very next race, he's supposed to sit out, whatever. He says, no, fuck it. It was his mom or his dad, I can't know. I don't remember. But, comes out, and he is just, it is clear. He doesn't pull great, but it is clear that he has the fastest car.
I remember you talking about this.
I mean, he's passing people with ease. He's giving Earnhardt a shake for his money. He's going around Logano, Hamlin. He's just fucking these guys up. I mean, guys that, and I forget which race it was. I believe it was a super speedway. But he did it right, and he sat back. So he didn't go for first right away. He knew, if I got the fast car now, I'm going to have the fast car when these fuckers are getting tired and their shit's getting beat up. And he just kept changing tires. Just biding time, getting good tires on there. 20 laps left. Dude starts fucking eating. I mean, probably the most aggressive I've seen since late to mid Rusty Wallace. How he would just fucking hammer down and just tear people's asses up. And it worked for him. People were fucking trying to touch it. He was coming out of everything clean, catching his lines, and then he was just burning. And he finally got up there, and I forget who was first, but he took him with ease.
Truex was one of those guys that when he started out, there was like this first 5 years where he was mixing it up, but he wasn't quite getting there. And then, bam, it was like a light turn on, and he was just like, I've always liked him. His personality. He's got like a take no prisoners personality.
You know what it was too?
And like, he turned it on there for like a few... I mean, fuck, dude, what was that? When we started watching, it was like 07 or whatnot. He was there then.
Yeah.
And then it was like...
He might have been, but he was back in the past.
And it was right around probably...
He was like Ricky Stenhouse back
It was like
there.
right around probably 2012 or whatever, where he started kicking it on. And then he ended up getting...
He didn't
it was like 2015, he won the championship or something.
Yeah, but he didn't have shit. He was a privateer. Furniture Row Racing.
At first.
Yeah, but he couldn't get on a team, Eric.
Yeah, but he got...
Nobody gave him the time of day.
He got Bass Pro as a sponsor.
Well, that was the big fucking one, yeah. But he was Furniture Row Racing, and then Bass Pro was on the hood. But before Bass Pro, it was just...
Yeah, it was...
it was a...
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a label nobody knew about. And, dude, just fucking props. I always loved that guy. I love Kevin Harvick. I thought Kevin Harvick one of the best drivers. And then Tony Stewart, as far as like skill and competition, Eric and I, we fucking hated him. Tony Stewart.
What about him?
Thought he was a good fucking racer.
Okay, yeah. Objectively speaking, I think
I think
he's a good racer.
Top 10 in my opinion.
I think he's a piece of shit.
And that's what I mean.
No, as a human being, I think he's a piece of shit.
I thought you got past all that, but
no.
I think if you take everything else out of it,
no.
He's a great racer.
Like, I look at Dale Earnhardt, great racer, good human being.
Really?
I could probably count.
Dale Earnhardt, wait, junior or senior?
Junior. See, you thought I was talking about senior? Are you fucking kidding me?
I thought Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s a pussy. I've seen him.
I don't give a
leads.
damn if he's a pussy. I think he's a good guy. I think he's a good racer.
He's different from his dad.
He went through, like, you think about when he was in NASCAR. Holy shit, he lived and raced through an era that was like the biggest fucking whiplash ever. You know, he started in the late 90s, early 2000s or whatever it was. You know, then his dad passed away. And then he fucking, just that era he existed in when he was prime, because from like 2010 on he was whatever. That was a very tumultuous era to be in. It was fucked up. Rules changing all the time. Track schedules changing all the time. All this fucking shit changing. People retiring. People not, people dying. Whatever. What the
guy hanging out whose name is Dick Trickle?
It was a fucked up time. But I like Dale. I think he's a good guy. I think he's a much better human being than his dad was. I think his dad was.
His dad set that bar pretty fucking.
I think his dad was a piece of shit, but what are we talking about?
Polygons.
No, we weren't talking about polygons. You mentioned Dale, but anyway,
Dale.
I think Tony Stewart's a piece of shit. Personality-wise, I think he's a piece of shit. I think he is. I think he puts on a face to try to like get support from people and whatnot. I think he's a royal bastard. I really do. I never thought that about Jeff. I always thought he was a genuine human being. Kurt Busch, I always thought he was a genuine human being.
Kyle Busch.
Kyle,
Not.
no. Kyle, I think Kyle's a piece of shit.
Kyle looks like if you got one of those like squishy toys that you squeeze really hard and the eyes pop out. That's what that motherfucker looks like.
Ryan Newman, I always thought he was a good guy.
Do you like Carl Edwards or not?
I honestly like
Mr. Backfoot.
Kyle. I thought he was kind of a piece of shit, but honestly, he might be one of the better racers of all time.
Carl Edwards?
Yeah.
Carl Edwards was very good, yes.
He was way too good for how little he raced.
Yeah.
He really was. He should have stuck with it for a long time. And
He wasn't the anchor of his team either.
fuck, dude. I think Carl Edwards puts Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano to shame. Hands down. Carl was way better than they were.
That's what I mean.
Carl.
He was also the old guy on that team.
I think he was a little older when he got into it, but like he stopped early. He didn't like retire, age out like most of them do or whatnot. He just stopped.
He ended it on his own terms.
There's a guy on YouTube, Slap Shoes. He went through Carl Edwards' career and whatnot, and was like, he might be one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah,
because of just the statistics that he put up in the short 10-year span.
Top 5 finishes, top 10 finishes overall. Yeah.
Like, I didn't like Carl, but fuck,
you might not see him on the podium.
I like Carl better than I like Denny, Joey,
but he had a
Kyle.
fuck ton of top 5 finishes. I know that.
He did a lot. There was one season, I can't remember which one it was, where he got screwed. Where
once you get down to that ending of the season and one race defining in and out,
I don't like the way
shit gets really hard.
I don't like the playoffs that they do. I think they need to go back when it was in, what was it, 95. Straight up points only. Like that's the only that to me is the only way to solve a race.
Like it ends when it ends.
That's the only way to solve a season. This tournament shit they got in. I mean, let's be honest. Like what Ross did was fucking great. Mm-hmm. Like I don't think there should be a rule against it. And goddamn, that kid deserves every bit of getting into that. But like, NASCAR's had a really checkered past of changing rules on the fly and screwing people over and whatnot. And
not validating changes and stuff.
Yeah, it's I think the best rules package was what they did back in the 90s, where it was just based on points, and people got pissed because people like Gordon or Earnhardt were winning by 600 points by the end of the season. It's like, sorry, not sorry. That's how it shakes out.
Couldn't they technically sit out the rest of the races and just win a season?
No, you got like sponsorships and you got to race for.
Oh, so you still have to. Yeah, you have to finish.
Yeah, you're still racing for money, and that's the thing. Each individual race, you're racing for money. There's a purse. It's like a horse race. There's a purse.
Mm-hmm.
You know, first place is gonna get this much, whatever. And I think we should go back to like that. Put more emphasis on like race by race, or race to race incentives. You have your driver's points, you have your owner's points, but you have like, hey man, I'm putting up $5 million to the driver that wins this race. You know, it's Darlington, whatnot. And they could, if they get back to how it used to be. NASCAR nowadays is just a corporate bastardization of what it was. That's why you have Ray Everham's race series that he started up. That's why it's becoming so popular. That's why dirt track racing is becoming so popular. You know, you got guys from NASCAR that are going with Ray Everham and racing in his series or going on dirt tracks and whatnot. I think it was Kyle Larson, Kyle Busch, they're going to racing dirt track races on the weekends because they're like, this is what we love to do.
Yeah.
And you look at we're coming up on Phoenix is next week. That's a championship race. Okay, might be a pretty good turnout. Early next year will be Daytona, but in the first couple months, when they go to Fontana, see how many people are in the stands.
California.
When they go to Fontana, see how many people are in the stands. When they go to Michigan, see how many people are in the stands. When they go to Texas, see how many people are in the stands. It's not going to be a lot. And it's no coincidence that the tracks in the southeast, like Bristol and Martinsville, are still sold out. It's no coincidence at all.
Yeah.
You know? You remember when we were there? Remember Billy telling us about going to Martinsville? It's no coincidence that those are the tracks are still. And like I said earlier, I was told today at work, I heard a while back that they were going to take another look at North Wilkesboro, which I think is in North Carolina. It's an old track. They were going to take another look at it's owned by the corporation that's owned by NASCAR.
Oh.
And they stopped going there. I think North Wilkesboro, the last race was 1998 or something like that. Kind of fell into disrepair. And I found out today at work that they have repaved the track and they put the safer barrier wall in, and they're in the process of rebuilding the stands. So it's North Wilkesboro. I think it's in North Carolina.
How long is the track?
1 1/3 mile, I think.
So there's room for deer.
No, there's no deer, Craig.
I'm just saying they want to get attendance back up.
No, we're not.
Nah, I can't do that. Somebody else
doing that bullshit.
Somebody else did that bit a long time ago. I thought it was funny.
Actually, North.
Because you like.
No, I might have screwed that.
North taking that turn at 127, and then
North
just
Wilkesboro might be.
deer.
North Wilkesboro might be 3/4 of a mile.
Oh,
Rockingham, I think, was a mile. You have this fancy thing called a computer. You can fucking look that up. No. So I don't look like a jackass in front of everybody.
Lazy.
Dude, you're fucking worthless. Seriously, like you
not having a good day.
No, you need to start looking shit up. Like we need to start like fact
Dude, Barry the lead. You told me you gave me a fucking video to watch, and you didn't tell me it was gonna be 45 minutes of fucking NASCAR research. Good God.
45 minutes. The fucking video I watched was 23 seconds.
We're on 42 minutes. You haven't shut the fuck up about NASCAR.
I thought it could be a NASCAR episode.
Cool. Give me a fucking heads up, man. I'll do some more research next time. Worried about you looking like a dickhead. I'm over here just nodding and smiling like the fucking.
Honestly, that's how most of the episodes I feel.
What? Like you're nodding and smiling?
Yeah, just like, yeah.
Nailed it. You fucking nailed it.
No. So, like,
I'm just trying to be entertaining.
You want to get shit faced and go to a Deerfield Raceway? Race.
Only if we can Uber.
Race. No, we get Dad to drive.
Oh Jesus, no! I'll never make it back. No, that'd be. Fun.
That'd be perfect. He'd love to go.
Dear, I want to go back out there.
Your good friend, Gary Bear.
Gary Bear. We love you.
He mentioned Deerfield today. He said he used to go up there. I said we've been there. So.
Yeah.
When
some Mountain Dew by the bucket.
Next racing season rolls around, there's Deerfield, there's
Deerfield Raceway. There's where HPV was made.
Shut up. There's Deerfield, there's Midvale, there's Mid-Ohio. We could always go do the
what's the one outside on 250 down past Tuscarawas? We pass it when we go home.
Midvale.
Okay, yeah.
There's
guy
also
I work next to. He's in the cubicle next to me. He used to race Midvale. He used to race all of them.
There's also Norwalk does
a bit of a drive.
NHRA.
I'd love to do some drag
racing. There's an NHRA stop there.
Yeah.
What's the other one I was thinking of?
For those of you that don't know, drag racing is when two cars. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Dress up like women. Nice.
And then the Wayne County Fair is a stop on the national circuit for tractor pulls.
We went and saw tractor pulls at 10, 12 years ago or whatever. I had a great fucking time. That was awesome.
Like,
and then I think it was the same year Aaron Lewis played. He's one of my personal favorites. That was Stark County, but yeah. That was badass.
Like, the Wayne County Fair, the guys that show up to there, because I was told it was a stop on the national circuit. Those guys, like, it's insane. But yeah, Wayne County Fair. What are we at?
45, 52, 54. Just kidding. I'm still kind of pissed off at myself. I hate doing dumb shit like that. So, those of you that don't know.
Like what?
Like not being a 33-year-old man and not knowing how to write out a check properly, and then the place you're trying to give the check to won't take the check because you're crossing out like it's fucking exam in 7th grade. And
you didn't take a checkbook? You just took one check?
That was my check.
You just took one check?
Yeah. I was filling it out for somebody, which I may or may not be legal. I don't fucking know. But, again, like you said, like Rachel said, it's not that big of a deal. But it's one of those things, man. I feel like
just go
if
do
you're
it tomorrow.
having an okay day, you're thinking like, man, this is great.
Just go do it tomorrow.
Getting my shit together, life's smiling on me for a second, and then one little thing like that just fucking pisses it right down the drain.
Go do it tomorrow.
I know I will. It's my own stupidity. I fucking hate it. Yeah, man, I'm working on it. I can't fucking insulate my ceiling yet either because of money. I saw a movie like that one time.
We'll worry about that this winter.
This winter?
This winter.
Oh, you mean the ceiling? I guess. The fucking car.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I'm not waiting until the winter for the car.
No, fuck the car.
I'm getting rid of that fucking thing.
I'm gonna get rid of mine. I'm gonna be homeless. It's great.
No, I'll show
die
you.
in a ditch.
I'll show you after the show what I think you should get. But
I'm not getting anything else. What the fuck are you talking about?
All right, fine. Fuck you.
No, I'm not getting anything else. I'm either carless or either have the Civic or I'm carless. Fuck it.
Oof, I'd choose carless.
No.
I'm just kidding. Any big plans lately? Any big plans coming up? Anything like that?
I was thinking a little bit about. Spent a little bit of time at work researching plasma CNC tables. So I wanted to get one for the guys at work. Like, literally, like, I've been campaigning to my boss for 8 months now. Like, hey, because, you know, when I was at, you know, where we had the laser.
Mordor. Yeah.
We had the laser. Fuck, dude, we could build anything with that thing. Burn out all the parts, build up this great big thing. I've been telling my boss for months, I was like, maintenance really needs one of these. It'd be great. Build whatever. We get one of these, we can build whatever the fuck we want. So, residually, after going through all that, I actually printed out a quote and gave it to Gary one day. I printed out a quote and I said, hey, look this over. They got like 40, you know, expansions and accessories. You know, I said, I don't know shit about plasma CNC or plasma cutting. I said, let me know what you guys think, you know. So I just handed him the packet. But I started looking into it more and more, and what you can get a hobby grade, it's not even really a hobby grade. It's like a stone cold industrial grade plasma CNC for. It's ridiculous. So I've started thinking, like, I got a friend who he started a side business with he does woodworking. He's got a wood CNC. And he carves out all these beautiful signs and custom jobs and whatnot. I was like, I want to do that with metal. So I've been thinking about getting one of those and starting a business making signs and some other things I'm not going to go into. Some little proprietary custom jobs and whatnot. I think it could be really fun.
Braille porn.
But I got to get Dad to buy on. because we either have to make some upgrades or run 240 out to the garage. So I'm thinking we'll do that this spring. Once the weather breaks, get the garage cleaned out and whatnot. And I'm thinking about when spring comes around, there's some housekeeping items that you and I need to pay attention to.
Yard?
Like the LLC.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to come time for
Oh,
that.
you said housekeeping. That's clever. I like that.
The LLC, getting the trademark and all that shit going.
We gotta figure out what the fuck we're doing.
Those two things are going to happen this spring. By then, we should have everything up and running. Plan to get Station 4 up and running.
Yeah, we're gonna
Station
play
4,
around with getting 2 guests on. I don't know how that's gonna go.
We're going to play around with having a little more flexibility. I don't know about 2 guests, but...
I feel like, why would you have a 4th station without 2 guests?
True, but that's the next step.
Yeah.
The cameras and all that. Yeah, we fucked around with episode 18, getting 2 cameras. The GoPro is not going to make another appearance. That's going to be for field shots and whatnot.
Oh, such a great quality. You guys got to see me on for 1 fucking episode. That's
not going to make another appearance. I'm probably going to get a few more handy cams. We're going to strategically place them and whatnot. We're going to flesh out the studio.
Right. We're going to flesh out with our handy cams.
We're going to flesh out with...
Does anybody else? No? This doesn't do anything for anybody else?
Well,
okay.
So... We're going to get that going throughout the winter, and then from there, we'll see where it goes. What are you thinking as far as growth and whatnot? Like, what's next for you? I know we're like prototyping merchandise and shit, and I think
at this point, if I just get out of bed every day, I consider it a fucking win.
Hey, I'm proud of you. You're doing great.
No, yeah, I'm playing around with some options, trying to get us. Merchandising is more. I don't want to call it merchandising because it's just shit for you and I, because we can't really sell anything yet because nobody wants to buy our shit yet.
I think it's feeling it out.
You got some neat stickers, which I thought was dope.
Yeah, I got some stickers,
like to
prototype.
get, like, window stickers and stuff like that, the waterproof ones and stuff like that. Mess around.
It's fun to fuck
more
around.
Or less, just some hats and maybe some cold gear. I'm trying to play around with people. I want the best quality for but also who can do it for us the quickest. So
it's fun to fuck around with though.
Everything's so slow. We're not really like ramping up to do anything big because again,
everything's really premature.
We're still feeling this whole process out.
Everything's really premature.
I'm sure there's people out there that love listening to us. There's probably episodes that are great, episodes that aren't.
The good thing is we don't have a fucking deadline like holding over our head. Like, this is something we can feel out over the next year.
But sometimes I feel like that's better when we do have a fucking deadline because then I get shit done.
I don't think so. I don't like that.
If I was able to do my life at my own pace, I would never get anything. I turn into dad a little bit.
I think you and I have a bad interpretation of what life at your own pace should be.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I think too hard in my head.
I've always thought like we should be doing much more than what we're doing now. I go to work, I come home, fuck around.
Well, that's the thing, Eric. We don't.
I feel like I should
have
be doing
the opportunity to not. We don't have the opportunity to supplement a hobby with work. We have to work. We don't work.
Yes,
we
we
will
have
die.
to work.
But work takes up a
supplementing a hobby right now.
No.
So where do we go from here?
No, I've worked my 8 hours. I'm not supplementing shit. I'm supplementing my free time with doing this, which is what I want to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm saying the job is holding us back.
Yeah, the end-all be-all goal is you want your hobby to be your job. You want your hobby to pay the bills.
I don't know if I'd call it a hobby, but this is awesome. It feels great. I feel like we're kicking ass, even though we're not blowing up by any means.
We have a good, solid plan. We have a 5-year plan, and we're working towards it. I feel like energized. I want to get going. The merchandise is probably a little more premature, but
I'm glad you feel like that because I feel like the exact opposite.
I'm always more.
I'm in a goofy funk.
I'm always more on the conservative side of like. yeah, we got time. I mean, why rush? You know, take it step by step.
I feel like I just had a giant weight lifted off me, and now I'm
Yeah, you've
just
got a lot more bullshit going
trying
on
to-
than I do.
I'm trying to get back into the motivation of moving forward to things. I feel like once I achieve something big, I'm like, okay, let me coast for a minute and then I'll get into the next thing.
Yeah, I get that.
But I don't want to do that.
It's called Friday.
I feel stagnant.
It's called you get off of work on a Friday and you're like, man, I don't feel like doing shit this weekend.
And I open
But
my eyes and I see
the difference is we
broken
have to do shit.
tricks.
We have to do shit this week. God damn it.
You got 5 minutes. I mean, not much I can do by myself here. I just please don't puke on my fucking table.
Fuck it. Got the hiccups.
I mean, we can go in. It's 55. We can go into wrap up if you want.
I hit that anxiety a long time ago where I was like, I need to be doing more with my time.
Do you want me to do the thing where I choke you?
Yeah.
Oh, he's gonna do it to himself. Oh. I'll just describe what I'm witnessing. Eric does this thing where he shoves a fist, not into his butt, but into his sternum. And then he just, like, kind of holds his breath until everyone else in the room is really uncomfortable. And then, I don't know, his hiccups stop or he dies. I don't know. Anyway.
I did that one time and it worked.
I know, I was right next to you and I was the most uncomfortable I've ever been in my life.
It's never worked since then.
Because you were like, you did it without thinking, and I was like, what's he doing? Is this it? Is this what fucking punching his ticket? And you just kind of toppled over and I don't know. Sorry, hiccups do suck. I don't understand. This is weird when I'm supposed to. I don't know. Anyway, give me the thumbs up like I'm doing great.
It's not working. It's
It's alright. We're wrap up. You got
damn.
any final thoughts or anything you want to limp through?
No.
Alright.
Fuck.
More to
about the
come.
hiccups.
There's gonna be. I don't know. We'll probably film film this weekend again. If I can talk Eric into doing
What's
one
today?
earlier.
Tuesday? So
It's Tuesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Wednesday. Yeah, we'll be back on Saturday.
Saturday. Anybody, give us a like, shout out, comment, listen. Just give us a listen to. You can find us on all the podcast platforms. Well, at least the ones that we're familiar with. Amazon Music, Spotify, Deezers, and Ghana. Working on some other ones to get that expanded maybe later on. Find us on YouTube at Harm's Way Podcast. Find us on TikTok at Harm's Way 8993.
God damn it.
Instagram at Harm's Way Podcast.
You did great.
I tried.
I'm proud of you.
You look like you're in pain.
I'm fucking dying.
All right.
Try not to.
Until next time, guys.
This is a good episode. Thanks for listening.
Love you.
Love you all. Bye.
Bye.